I'm your host, Vichangry. This is going to be my 5th episode. And I have to say I am proud of that because I tried doing like a true crime series and I think I only got through 2 or 3 episodes. So I told myself if I'm able to get past 3 episodes, then that means, maybe I'm committed, because I always start something and I tend to just leave it in the dust. So anyways, here we are on episode 5. So that's a mini milestone here, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, today we're going to be talking about my experiences with going to concerts, shows, and meeting famous people. Again, if you know me personally, all these stories just sound like run-ons, but the whole point of this is to share my experiences for people who don't know them. And also, I've mentioned before, this is my diary. If nothing ever happens to my YouTube, I would like these videos to look back on when I'm an old lady. So yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and get right into it. This is the week of September 1st. Well, it was when I was typing the episode. And on this past week, we finally took the last of our troops out of the Middle East, ending a 20-year war. Some random fact, Perez limits the driving speed down to 19 miles per hour. Oh, and hopes to reduce pollution. So that's not really random. That's another great thing to help fight against, global warming and all that. And the popular Instagram model Mercedes Moore had sadly passed away. She was murdered. They don't know, I didn't really follow too much on it, but they say it was somebody who she was involved with. I'm not really sure. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and just get right into my experiences. This episode might go by a little fast. I say that every time, so I guess I should just stop. Whatever time you guys get is how long the episodes are going to be. Each one will vary. So the first concert I have ever went to was actually a festival, and I was like 10 years old, and we went because my mom knew one of their performers, and her name was Angelina. She was like a solo freestyle artist. She sang a few popular songs. She did a lot of covers, which also got pretty big. And she also sang with NB Rydas. I don't know if you guys know who that group is. So yeah, we went there to go see her. And after the show, we actually got to meet her because, like I said, my mom knew her. She had done her braces for her. And this lady was so nice, so beautiful, so talented, and I was just in awe. It was my first time going to a concert, and then you actually get to meet the person afterwards. So as a 10-year-old, I was pretty infatuated by this whole situation. And that's where a seed was planted for me that I feel like has even got me this far in life, because since meeting her and seeing how beautiful and talented she was, I just became obsessed with singers and just pop culture altogether. And a fun little fact, I actually named my daughter Angelina after that whole experience, not just the lady herself, just what the whole experience represented and meant to me. So yeah, that's how much that really affected me, that I even named my child after her. Oops. So yeah, that was actually really fun. We saw other people there in that concert, but she was like the main one that I can remember because like I said, it was a festival. So the next concert that I can remember, I've said this also before, my memories and my experiences are not in any chronological order because like they just come to me and I write it down. I'm not gonna, I don't think the timeline's really important. So the next concert that I remembered was going to an Angels and Airwaves concert, and that is the band that Tom DeLonge created after he left Blink-182. The openers for this concert were Taking Back Sunday, Head Automatica, and I Am the Avalanche. So I also saw those bands, and the whole concert was really cool. I think I was like 13 or 14 here, and yeah, it was like a big spaceship. It felt like we were being abducted, and it felt like we were in space, because I don't know if you guys know, Tom is really into space and all that. So yeah, the concert was really, really cool as far as that goes. After this, I would start going to like the little rock shows that they would put on like in my town. You know how every town has like little venues where the local bands go play. So I would do those. I went to quite a few of those. I want to say I've gone to at least 5 to 10 of those little concert ones, those little shows. They're not really called concerts, I don't think. I even went to San Francisco around that time to a little show, a little concert, to a place called The Bottom of the Hill, and I saw the band Bayside. So yeah, these, I don't know if you guys know, but these are pretty big bands, okay? Like, I'm not just like, all the little bands of the little shows that I went to, I'm not even mentioning their names because I don't even know them. But these ones that I'm mentioning their names is because like, they were actually pretty big bands at the time. Let me see if I could, let me go back up here. Angelina, her most famous song with NB, for me, was like with NB Rydas, and it was like, Every Time I Think of You. That was her most famous song, if you guys can want to look that up, see who I'm talking about here. I've mentioned NB Rydas quite a few times, and they've also gone by Nasty Boy Click, NB Rydas, and he's now solo as MC Magic. So maybe you guys have heard of them if you want to look up NB Rydas. They have tons of popular songs. And let's see, Angels and Airwaves, their most popular song is called The Adventure. I don't know if you guys know that. Taking Back Sunday, their most popular song is called Make Damn Sure. Head Automatica and I Am the Avalanche, I wasn't really sure who they were. The last band I mentioned was Bayside, and they have quite a few popular songs. I'm having a blank on the names of their songs, but, oh, Devotion and Desire, there we go, that's a popular one. So yeah, just in case you guys wanted to go look up, see if you knew any of these bands that I'm talking about that I have seen. So after my whole little rock phase, because like I went through a rock phase, that's why I was going to these rock concerts and stuff, I got into the hyphy part of my life, which was a big part of my life. It probably lasted about 4 to 5 years, and I started going to like the little hyphy concerts around. I'm from the Central Coast, which is right by the Bay Area, so I was right smack dab in the middle of the hyphy movement. If you guys don't know what that is, just look it up. I don't want to get too into the hyphy movement here. But while I was during that part of my life, I started going to some concerts and stuff like that. So I saw like, and I actually met and saw him perform. Not at the same day. I went to a Mista FAB concert, and then like a week later or a week before, he was at the mall doing a signing, like to promote his music and stuff. So I actually met him. He signed my shoes. His most popular song, I believe, is "Duh Yellow Bus." So anyways, if you guys want to look that up, I have also saw like Jay Diggs, and I just would go to a lot of like the little hyphy local concerts. During that time, I actually went to a Too Short concert. His most famous song is like "Blow the Whistle," and I actually got on stage with him and was dancing. It was me, my sister, a couple of our friends, so that was a fun moment. Around that time also, I went to it was like this love concert thing, and I saw Amanda Perez. Her most popular song is "Candy Kisses," and after the show there was like this huge line to meet her, but like me and my sister were standing kind of towards the front of the line, and she saw us and she was like, "Hey, like, did you guys want to meet me?" And we were like, "Yes, of course." So then we like saw her. I actually have a picture with her, so that was pretty cool. And let's see, oh yeah, I saw and I was like dancing next to Flava Flav at a little event here in Arizona. Most of my like concerts and all that took place in California, but yeah, this Flava Flav one was here in Arizona. That was pretty funny. He was a funny guy. Okay, also here in Arizona, this is a quite a funny little story. I'll do a quick little story time. I was working for Chipotle at the time, and we had to take a trip down to Las Vegas to go visit the other Chipotles. And we were at the mall because one of the Chipotles we were going to was in the mall. And I saw somebody just sitting there, and I was like, "Is that CeeLo Green?" And the people I was with were like, "Yeah, I think that's CeeLo Green." So I went up to him and I was like, "Are you CeeLo Green?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, can I have a picture?" And he's like, "I'm eating dinner with my woman right now. No." And I was like, "Well, aren't you CeeLo Green?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Well, then take a picture with me." And the girl he was with was like, "Just take a picture with her." So I got my picture. You could check my Instagram or whatever if you don't believe me. But anyways, it was, the funny part about this is like the very next day on Twitter, he tweets, "If you ever see me out with my woman, don't you ever come up to me asking for pictures." Like, I literally pissed him off. So that's the day I pissed off CeeLo Green. It's pretty funny. I don't care though. It's like, I'm ruthless when it comes to like celebrities and stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, this is the lifestyle you signed up for, so just deal with it, okay? So I got my picture. That was pretty funny. Also in Las Vegas, I met Khloe Kardashian at their shop out there. It's called Kardashian Chaos, and she had an event where you were able to go and meet her and get some merch from the shop and stuff. So I went to that, of course, and it was funny because like this was a paid event, and so like I paid for myself to meet her, just one ticket. But I had brought my daughter with me, and so when it was time for me to meet Khloe, somehow my daughter just snuck in, and she was actually able to meet her too. So we have photos of that day. That was a pretty fun one too. Going back to my hyphy times I was telling you guys about, we were out in San Jose, and I was just driving with my friends, and they started freaking out. They were like, "Oh my God, that's Haji Springer. Oh my God, that's Haji Springer." So like me and my one friend hopped out of our car, jumped into his car. I, mind you, didn't even know who he was at the time. Apparently he was a another hyphy artist, and we were in his car driving around, and then all of a sudden, like, we came to a stop sign, and like all kinds of guys like came out from like different corners of all these different buildings with guns pointed to the car, and they were like, yo, this is, I'm not even gonna say the name that they were representing because I'm not trying to get any gang affiliations here, but they came to the car banging on us, pointing guns at Haji Springer, all around, guns all around us. And the guys were like, yo, like, you're lucky you have these girls in the backseat of your car right now because we would shoot you right now. And so me and my friend were like, okay. And we jumped out of the car, ended up just walking around San Jose till we came to some random bar. Some guy was selling tamales outside, and the bar owner came out and bought us tamales. And he was like, come inside, like, it's dangerous out there. And we had to call our friends to come pick us up, and they didn't know where we were because we were out of town. It was a whole nightmare. So I guess the moral of that story is, don't just jump into people's cars who you don't know. Like I've said in one of my other videos, my near-death experiences, I said I just did a lot of stuff that was dangerous and put me into dangerous situations. I actually didn't even mention this time where these people pointed guns at us, but I think that would just fall into the category of me doing stupid things that put me into very dangerous situations. And that right there is a perfect example of what I was talking about. So yeah, more recently here in Arizona, I have gone to 2 Taylor Swift concerts. The first one was the 1989 tour, and she was opened up by Vance Joyce, that guy who sings Riptide, coming down to the Riptide. Yeah, so I saw him and I saw her that day. That was a really fun one. They say to get to Taylor Swift concerts really early for a chance to be picked to meet her. So the concert that night was like at 7, but I showed up that day like at 10 a.m. and I actually met and hung out with for quite a while one of the guys from the Shake It Off music video. He was the one who like had his solo doing the Shake It Off, and yeah, we were hanging out that day, talking. We've exchanged Instagrams and stuff. So actually met a pretty cool Swiftie that day too. And if you're seeing this video, hey, I'm glad we met that day. I met a couple other people that day too, because he was there with friends who were also in the video, I believe. But sorry, but he was the coolest. So he's the one who I remembered the most. And the second concert I went to, was, oh goodness, Reputation, the Reputation tour. And of course, that one, she had Camila Cabello and Charlie XCX open for her. So I actually got to see them too. And it's pretty cool because, like, if I really like somebody, I want to see them. This is just triggering a memory that I left out here on my notes. Like, when I really like somebody, I need to see them in concert. I was obsessed with Blink-182, so I went and saw Tom in concert. I've been obsessed with Taylor Swift. I had to go see her in concert. I loved the Kardashians, Khloe specifically, so I had to go meet her. And when Camila Cabello was in Fifth Harmony, she was the one who I was interested in seeing if I ever wanted to go to a concert. So the fact that I just happened to get to see her at a Taylor Swift concert was a win-win for me. And I was gonna end it there, but I completely forgot that I also went to a front row Katy Perry concert. And before my obsession with Taylor Swift, I wasn't nearly as obsessed with Katy, but she was my girl before Taylor. So Katy Perry was on my, you know, list of people I wanted to see in concert, and I actually happened to get the opportunity to go for free. So I went. I definitely took that opportunity. If I told the whole story, you would realize it's another one of my near death, put myself in a very dangerous situation. But it was for Katy Perry, so I did it. And I was front row, was singing with her, and it was like a bunch of old people because this was like a private event, and they were all like, oh my god, how do you know all her music? Like, we don't even know these songs. We only came here because this was a free concert. Like, you're a true fan. And I was like, yes, I am a true fan. I was singing every song she ever sang, and she even like looked at me and pointed me in the crowd because like it was a front row, really private event. So that was pretty cool. And I think that's going to be it for my experiences with concerts and meeting celebrities and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure there's more that I can't even think of because like I literally left out that Katy Perry one here in my notes. Like all of these things, I have so many of them that I can't even remember them all sometimes. Like, for example, not mentioning that I was in a car with guns pointed at me in my near-death video. Like, I just forget things, you guys, so I'm sorry about that. So next, I kind of just wanted to share a cool little story about one of these people that I've seen or met or, you know. So of course I chose Khloe Kardashian just because she's actually met her, and I feel like she's probably the biggest celebrity that I had a chance to meet. And she's actually into some of the like same stuff that I am here on my channel. So I'm going to talk about the time where she saw a UFO. It isn't like a long story or anything. I'm actually going to be finishing up here pretty soon. So anyways, I remembered a few years ago that there was this whole thing that like the Kardashians, Jenners, I think it was actually Kendall Jenner, but I said the Kardashian Jenner family. One of them like accidentally saw a UFO. Like they were outside like recording something like just on their phones, and they were like, oh my god, like a UFO. So I went looking for that story, and I ended up finding a different story, a more recent one, because that one was a few years ago and couldn't find too much on it, but I do remember like when it happened. But anyways, more recently this year, I believe in, I forgot what month it was, but Khloe and Tristan decided to do a date as like a UFO hunting type of thing. So they went to the hills in Malibu, which is like a known hotspot supposedly for UFOs. And they were out there just like looking, and they say they actually saw one. It was like this light and this other light, like something crazy where they're convinced they saw a UFO. Excuse me. But of course, because there's no proof, just as there's no proof for about, I'll say half the stories that I tell, you know, it's their word against the world. So of course people started saying, yeah, right, they didn't see it, it was just a plane, blah blah blah. But according to both of them, they saw a UFO, which I have too. So I thought that would be funny, not funny, that would be fun to share the story of a famous person who I've met who's also seen a UFO. So that's why I brought in that story here. And honestly, you guys, I wish I had more here to talk about. I could go on about my, you know, when I saw UFO, but that was in my alien video, so I'm not going to be repeating myself here. So we'll go ahead and just wrap it up for tonight. I did kind of warn it was going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but I just want to stay committed with this, and I wanted to get my video out there. I wanted to deliver, so that's what I'm doing. I already have a few ideas lined up for my next few videos, So I don't see this ending anytime soon. And stay tuned on my shop, because I do like to make like clothing designs that have to like correspond with my episodes. So yeah, I'll probably be adding some new stuff. Don't forget to check out that, my clothing line, at the link in the description, which will be edited once this is uploaded. Usually takes about 24 hours. So like last time I mentioned, if you want to go check it out before then, the link is in Vichangry clothing on Instagram. In the bio there, I have the link. Whew, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to all the times I've went to concerts and shows and met famous people and stuff like that. And I would love to hear your experiences, your concerts, the famous people you've met. Maybe you have famous people in your family. Like, I don't know. There's even more. Like, one of my mom's really close friends, her dad actually started like the Lowriders, the magazine. And I knew him pretty well because my mom was, you know, her like best friend for my whole life. So yeah, like I said, there's probably quite a few that I'm leaving out, but let me know like your experiences with them if you have any questions about mine. And please subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the little notifications, because I do post these live, and I believe it notifies you guys when I go live if you're subscribed and have the little notifications on. So yeah, that would be awesome. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. And don't forget that in the end, it's up to you to believe it or not. All right, bye guys.